Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of FPL Affairs, the podcast that discusses our 9-month-long love affair with FPL, including the ins and outs that keep us awake at night. In this latest video, following the culmination of the marathon Gameweek 24, culminating in James Tarkowski's 97th minute equaliser in the Merseyside derby, the last one at Goodison Park, Jack and I discuss how our teams got on, and our assistant manager choices. Let's get cracking.
And there's Mo Salah. There goes Haaland. He's on his way again. He's hungry. He's scored. Ice cold precision from Palmer. Oh, Saka! That is a diamond of a goal.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a croaky FPL Affairs episode. And I promise it was not from cheering on the Everton 98th minute goal from Tarkowski. It definitely wasn't from that. Anyway, welcome to the latest episode with me, Matt, aka the croaky veteran, and alongside me, as always, the veteran, not the veteran, that's me, the master, the master idiot, as you wanted to be called, after our idiot guide from the other day. But yeah, so we're recording this straight after that goal, as I've just said, which I'll probably edit this out anyway. And it seems we were just speaking off air how we were struggling to remember the start of game week 24. It's been such a marathon. Barely remembered Chris Wood's hat trick, which we'll cover in a little while. So before we forget even more, shall we get cracking with our teams?
Let's get cracking.
Looking at your 24 team, talk us through it.
I'd forgotten that Valdemarsson played instead of Flecken. They both would have got one, but I mean, the move that's been blocking me getting Mbeumo and Visser all season finally paid off because he came off the bench for a beautiful 1. Mikolenko with 7. Lewis Hall with a disappointing 1. Alexander Arnold obviously didn't manage to start the second game. I'm not entirely sure it would have made much of a difference, but he did come on for 7. Gordon with a disappointing 1. Palmer with another disappointing 6. Rogers with another disappointing 1. Isak with 2. And Gakpo with 7. And then my 2 big hitters, or 3 big hitters, of Chris Wood, the hat-trick hero, with 17 points. Salah as captain with 58. But my star of the week, my beautiful punt, David Moyes, with 22. Thank you very much, James Tarkowski, for saving my week. You legend. So all in all was 130 points. Safety was 125. I benched 9 points, which is just sort of quite evenly spread between Sarr, Robinson, and somebody else. And my old rank was 132k. New rank is now 109k. 3 points off of the top 100k. And that was a change of 17.45%. So yeah, total of 1,616 points. Happy with that. Nice big green arrow. After the Liverpool goal, I'll drop to 141k. And then after the James Tarkowski bullet volley top right corner, flew me back up to 109k. So thank you, David Moyes. Thank you, Everton. Thank you, Tarkowski. How did you get on?
Yeah, definitely whizzing through the teams. There's your lovely green arrow. Yeah, mine showing up, talking through it. Pickford, 10-pointer in goal. Gabriel, 2. Hall, 1. My star, Munoz, 11.
Oh, what a game.
Diaz, very disappointing, 5 points from 2 games.
Yeah.
Gordon, Palmer and Salah, same as you. think what was frustrating really having Salah as captain over a double week when because of the number of people that would have used their triple captain chip on him, you're actually hoping for a double game week captain to blank.
Yeah.
Which just felt so wrong and disappointing. It's going to be the same in game week 25, which we'll come on to when we speak about that. Chris Wood, lovely, beautiful hat trick. With the 17 there, Wissa frustrating 2 points. He missed a few good chances against Spurs, which was disappointing. And the same with Isak, although he wouldn't really have made much of a difference. And 15 points for bringing in Slot. I think and we'll discuss this one in a later slide actually, when we go on more about the assistant manager chip. So how that got me 130 points, same as you. My rank's gone up. How far it's gone up, I'll cover in a moment. But yeah, before the Tarkowski goal, Slot was on 18 points. I had 135 points and was at 446k. So yeah, that last goal cost me 35k in rank at least, which, to be honest, I think the romance of it being the last Merseyside derby at Goodison Park, for Everton to get a last minute equaliser, I think I'll take that. Just because I think from a footballing perspective, that's much bigger than what I worked out as 7 points in FPL, to be honest.
Yeah, it's still a lovely green for you, I assume.
Yeah, we shall see. Yep, so my safety score, a bit lower than yours, was 121. Total score is 1,560. So 56 behind you. On the bench, a painful 17, which came from
Williams.
1 pointer from Rodgers, so wasn't disappointed with that. 4 points from Robinson and 12 from Williams of Nottingham Forest, and that hurt after the Saturday fixtures.
You messaged me saying, who do I bench? Who do you think I should bench out of Munoz and Williams? And I missed the message. And then about 10 minutes after the deadline, I went, sorry, missed this, but I probably would have benched Munoz. And then Williams then went on to get 12. And you and I were like, oh, you're joking. And then, of course, Munoz then came in and saved the day with his 11. So it only lost really a point.
Yeah, 1 point. 1 point from that move. Yeah, so old rank was just under 600k at 596k. Now up to 482,664. So a rise of about 19%. So creeping up slowly. Chip strategy we'll come on to later, but yeah, a green, 9 points into it. So 3 things from game week 24 so far, which we were discussing. We were struggling. You thought of the first thing. Do you want to mention that one?
Yeah, I think it just surrounds early transfers. I've always been a big advocate to not make them. Obviously, price rises in certain situations, it's the right thing to do, but you never know. People can get knocks in training and all sorts. But I think with the late announcement, which seems like about 6 months ago, but the late announcement of a double in 25, all of a sudden made the assistant manager chip that much more appealing. And a lot of people then had to take hits to make changes, to get in Liverpool, to get in slot, to get off triple Liverpool, or just late melee. And I ended up rolling this week because I I decided to not make the Liverpool move because I wanted Liverpool for their following double, and just decided to go with Moyes and chase the upside of the table bonus, which we'll talk about in a second. But I think a lot of players would have been sat there after making an early move, and even though it was late, I still think even if you made the transfer, I think it was announced on the Friday or something or the Thursday, so there would have been a lot of managers that would have regretted their moves, and therefore would have wished that they'd have kept them. And I just think that they're bad news early transfers. I really do. I just think that would probably be my biggest lesson. Other than that, I think we
agreed
Wolves.
the second.
We agreed the second thing. I would just like to mention Wolves, and I think we're getting to a point in the season where teams are starting to become a lot more volatile results wise. I know it's the Premier League and it's a beautiful league because of that, but I think, we haven't even spoken about the fact that Southampton got a win the other week. So do you know what I mean? So that changes things. So it's all it's just getting to that point of the season where teams are getting injuries. It's all changing, and to just be that little bit more hesitant with those transfers, and also just be aware that maybe take form into account more than fixtures currently.
Yeah,
like Chris Wood.
Yeah, Chris Wood was our second thing that we thought to
Yeah.
take from Gameweek 24 was because loads of people sold Chris Wood for Gakpo.
Yeah.
Because
and then
Gakpo
ended up
had
making another move to get Slot in.
Yeah. And I think if that news of the double in 25, anyone who would have been waiting would have I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them would have just got Slot straight in and kept Chris Wood.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot.
So early transfers avoid in case of, especially now we're coming into chip season.
Yeah.
That, the announcements of doubles and that could arrive with very little notice before the next deadline, which could really affect what plans you have. So to hold off on those.
Maybe get on Southampton assets as we're now going to make a surge up the table.
That can be the third thing learned from Gameweek 24. That Southampton can win a game. Of winning games. Away from home as well.
I had a ticket to go, so just quickly, I missed a whole week off site because I really hurt my back, and I had a ticket to go to the Ipswich game and didn't go because I had to rest because I needed to get back to work, and then of course we went and won 2-1 away at Ipswich, which
maybe
just
you're
still in shock. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you're a curse. When you're not there, they win.
No, they don't. I don't. I've missed plenty of losses and I've seen plenty of losses. It's not me. We're just rubbish. It's got nothing to do with me. But no, I think maybe one of the biggest thing to learn is that Southampton can score more goals than the team that they're playing. That is the thing.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on, because of that announcement of double game week 25, both of us used our assistant manager chip. When did you activate yours?
Pretty late. Again, I always do this. I don't make transfers till within an hour of the deadline, or I certainly haven't. The majority of my transfers this season have been like that. Obviously, there's the odd time where I'll be working on a Saturday or whatever, and I'll just get it done first thing and get on with work just in case I miss it. But I when the announcement was made that there was going to be a double in 25, obviously you weigh up who's likely to be in it. I weighed up that it was likely to be Liverpool and Villa based on the Spurs result being overturned and what have you. And then I thought, obviously, pre-injury, I thought, well, that makes Watkins a good option. It makes Luca Dean a good option. Do you see what I mean? These sorts of players that
Mm.
are likely to play. And I just thought, I'm quite happy with my triple Liverpool. I'm quite
Mm.
happy with Trent. I'm happy with Salah. I'm happy with Gakpo. Um, because I thought they were the sorts of players that could sort of outscore Slot. Because there's no
Mm.
table bonus. If
Yeah.
if Slot wins 1-0, I think when we did our thing, he gets 9 points.
Mm.
But you could see Gakpo getting 9 points. If he gets obviously appearance points plus a goal plus bonus, he'll get those
Mm.
points. If Trent gets a clean sheet or an assist and bonus, I just think that their ceiling was higher than Slot's. When there's no table bonus for a manager, for me
Mm.
personally, like I said, I think the player's ceiling is higher than the manager's. So that's why. So that was what the probably one of the biggest reasons. The other reason was I wanted to roll the transfer because I knew I was going to want to change my manager in 25
Yeah.
off of Moyes, so I needed to keep that transfer for that. And then the other reason is to be honest, I just fell in love with the idea that Everton were going to do something. David Moyes had been in charge 2 days before his first game when he lost to Aston Villa, but since then they'd won 3 games.
Mm.
I think kept 2 clean sheets or something, and they'd scored like 9 or 10 goals. So they were really in an uptake in form. And
Mm.
yeah, like you said a minute ago, just the last one at Goodison Park, and then making it difficult, and just the whole romance of the situation. I'm a bit of a sucker for it, and I thought maybe
Mm.
they might do something. And watching the game, they certainly deserved a point. Definitely. I mean, they had a few chances at 1-1 to nick the game. Decore I could have had a brace. And to be honest, like I said to you off air, the 2 Liverpool goals were in parts of the game where they really weren't on top, and they weren't on top for large periods of that game,
Mm.
in my opinion. So yeah, it was a punt. It was 50-50. We said when we were talking about it pre
Yeah.
24, pre 24, that it was a punt. Someone was going to win and someone was going to lose. Um, I experienced both of those emotions this evening with Salah obviously scoring that second goal.
Mm.
Um, and then at that point, it looked like I'd got it wrong. But the fact that the fact that you said, how many points did you lose when Everton scored the second goal on Slot,
Um, well, Slot was on 18 and it
and then
went
he dropped to
down to
15?
15.
Yeah, so you lost three when Moyes was on 21 and dropped all the way down to 12 or 13, something like that. And then of
Mm.
course he equalised by getting a draw. He went up 9. So it's just huge, huge table bonus, and that's why I went with Moyes because I knew the swing could be big, and it was. So yeah,
Mm.
happy.
Yeah. I think my change I made. I think it may well even been as late as 5 minutes before the deadline because I just couldn't decide between keeping my Liverpool triple up players, which I had, which was Alisson, Diaz, and Salah, was to keep it as it is. Initially, I had it on triple captain all week until the news broke of double game week 25, and then everything really about the potential of having 5 fixtures across 3 game weeks for your manager just sort of it was
Mm,
blurting that out rather than triple captain. And so it was either and I had one free transfer. So it was, do I just keep that free transfer and bring in Moyes and leave it at that? And he'd be my only Everton asset. Or do I switch Alisson to Pickford and not there was various reasons for that. One of which was because I'm trying to navigate blank game week 29 without using a chip.
Yeah.
And with Fabianski losing his place at West Ham, Alisson was a problem I'd need to deal with if Liverpool got through to the Carabao Cup final. So it was very much a keep Alisson and bring in Moyes and roll the transfer, or use the transfer, switching goalkeepers from Alisson to Pickford and bringing in Slot instead. I went with the latter option. Goalkeeper wise, didn't make any difference. They both got 11 points over the 2 games. There's 7 points difference between Slot and Moyes, so I'm 7 points down on that. And also, I've only got 1 transfer rather than 2, which I would have done had I got Moyes. So it was very much underdone. And I'd always, when the assistant manager chip got announced, I said from the off I was going to go look at the mid-table teams and the ones that would play, that would get table bonus against teams that aren't that much better than them.
Yeah.
Rather than having a double game week against the best team in the league twice. So yeah, that's where I was at. But I think the biggest point really now, after that Tarkowski goal, is the melee that was after the final whistle with Curtis Jones. Red cards were being thrown around, and a red supposedly issued in the direction of Slot.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Now, we look back at the point scoring, and there wasn't really any referral to managers losing points if they're booked or sent off. So, although I'm a Slot owner, I think really out of fairness, they should lose points for a booking or a red just the same as the players do.
I think that's a massive oversight if they don't.
Yeah.
I really do. Because like you said, players lose points for bookings and obviously red cards, and managers often get booked and obviously they don't so often get sent off. But yeah, I don't see why Slot shouldn't lose points for getting a red card, because Decore owners or Curtis Jones owners, they both got sent off. They're about to lose well, they will lose points because their players got sent off. Whereas Slot owners won't. So I'd be surprised. FPL have got a couple of options. They're either going to go, oops, are bad, or they're going to do like retrospective action and sort of like add it, or sort of like take the points away, because they do, don't they? Because like in Jai randomly got a bonus point added the following day after their game. So obviously the game week was still open, but I wonder if they'll stick to the rules of the fact that once the game week ends, and there's nothing they can do. But I think there'll be a lot of people that will kick up a fuss if he doesn't lose points. They should just do the same. They should, because you lose a point for a yellow card, don't you? And I think it's 2 for a red. So I think they should just remove 2 points from Slot and say, yeah, okay, moving forward, cards count for managers.
I think,
but they won't.
Well, usually they say points are the game week closes an hour after the final game week, and that's what there is at that point. What the points are at that point, that's final. And to be honest, I'm trying to say this from an impartial point of view. Sorry, just plugging in the laptop. Is I don't think they will deduct points from Slot. No. I'd be surprised if they do, because the reason being, because they didn't mention it in their rules and terms and conditions about the chip. They may come out and say, yeah, our bad, next season that will be therefore that's something we'll review for next season. But I don't think they could turn around and say, "Oh yeah, our bad, so we're going to add it in now." I think it would be too
Yeah, I don't
too
think they'll
late
do it
for them to
now.
do it,
I
and
don't
they
think they'll do
can't.
it now, but I do think it's a massive oversight.
Yeah,
And a lot of people weren't necessarily to be honest, we were talking, if it weren't for the Game Week 25 announcement so late on, then the assistant managership would have been quite dull. Quite dull. It was almost before when we were talking about it, it was just like a bit annoying. You didn't really know when to use it. You wanted to use your other chips, you can't use your other chips. It obviously costs transfer to move them, it costs money to bring them in, so you obviously lose that budget, so you can't attack other fixtures. So it was all just a bit of an inconvenience. And we were talking about using it early so that we could continue with our normal strategy of free hit and a blank, bench boost in a double, wild card into a bench boost, and triple captain in a good double. And then, of course, it's happened because you've you've used it in a nice double for Salah. You've chosen assistant manager. Salah's banged. And then, if this chip wasn't here, you'd a triple captain. You're obviously 14 points worse off because of that. So it's just an annoying chip, and which a lot of people weren't like that fussed about up until the Game Week 25 announcement. And now, of course, they've had on the first week it's ever been used. There's now this massive faux pas that they've not included red and yellow card points for managers, which is farcical as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, I think they've dropped the ball quite big on this one, but we'll
yeah.
see what they have to say.
Well, double out of the way for Everton, but anyway, anything in relation to chip strategy, look up our Idiot's Guide to Chip Strategies that we made this week, and that's got 5 different strategies you can follow. So if you've liked this ish, if it's helped and you can relate to our teams, and let us know what you're planning on doing going into 25. How have you found the assistant manager chip this week? Are you making the switch? And if so, which one too? Contact us, FBL Affairs. Facebook group is entitled FBL Affairs now. YouTube channel at FBL Affairs, and Spotify, lengthy gibberish, as I say always. But please subscribe and leave a comment. And like or love our streams, because it makes a big, massive difference. And also, actually, new thought, let us know whether you want us to do a live stream and brave it, because that's something we're considering at the moment.
Would be fun.
Yeah, would be fun. Your final thoughts, Mr. Master?
No, as always, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends if they enjoy boring FPL content. Good luck next week. Don't make early moves.
Yeah.
Roll where you can.
Yeah. And I will finish with what I didn't finish with.
No, you didn't.
On my usual finishing line I didn't do in the Idiot's Chip Guide. I remembered after we'd recorded it. But anyway,
idiot move.
Yeah. It was an idiot move, getting forgetful, using memory. But thanks again for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe. And all that's left to say from me is keep your FPL affairs under wraps until after the deadline, and spread your team as much as you like all over social media. And
thanks for watching.
Think carefully about chip strategy is my actual final plan. But yeah.
And go and watch our video on it.
Yes.
If you don't know.
Please. From a praying person with no voice. Okay. Till next week. Good luck next week, everybody. And see you soon. Bye-bye.